Hello guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. It's me, Big Mike, and welcome to another video. If you have spent a decent amount of time on the internet, especially on social media, you've probably heard a piece of common cautionary wisdom being shared. Once you post something online, it's there forever. While in general that's good advice to act on, as we shall see, that's not really true. The internet is an ephemeral place, and one of the deepest impacted aspects of the web are links. We have all clicked on a link before, hoping to find something, be it a post, a news article, a file, or something else, only to find out the link doesn't work anymore. And this recently happened to me. Now before we get too far ahead with this video, I want to tell you the story of my search for the earliest Sonic fan game candidate, as I promised you I would in my last video, as this actually inspired the subject of today's video. So let me paint the picture for you. I had just found Sonic Boom, which was released in 1995. Now Sonic Boom is the game that is commonly said to be the first Sonic fan game ever. I was satisfied, my curiosity had been satiated, but then moments later, somehow I stumbled onto a forum on Sonic Retro discussing this very subject. There, some users were discussing fan projects and other earlier candidates. I had saw some that predated Sonic Boom by some time. There, some users were discussing fan projects and other early candidates. I had saw some that predated Sonic Boom by some time, but one without a doubt was the earliest. This one caught my eye. It was dated to 1992 and was released for the Amiga. This was it, I thought to myself. This was the holy grail I had been after. And not only did this user mention this project, but he also posted a link to it. Now this site was hosting Amiga game files, and this link not only linked to this site, but even more so, it was a link directly to this project's file. I was ecstatic to say the least, fam, only to click the link to find that instead of taking me to this game's page, it took me to the site's home page. So this was disappointing. But you know what? You know what we do when we come across a dead link, fam? We go and we throw it into the Wayback Machine at the Internet Archive. And I did just that. And much to my relief, it was backed up 4 times. Whew. I let loose a sigh of relief. So I clicked the first one, only to find out it did not save the page correctly. So then I moved to the next capture to find this one too, though for a different reason was not saved correctly. And likewise, the final 2 failed to save properly as well. I was flabbergasted. So then, never one to give up, I returned to the forum post to try to get the name of the project, so I can try to search for it elsewhere. Only to find out that the user who posted about it didn't give the name, but only referred to it as a so-called scene game. And with that, every hope I had of finding this game went down the drain. Now, very much by chance and not by design, I managed to stumble some point in time later upon Johnny Vector's video, The Wonderful World of Sonic Fan Games, 30 years of fan game history. And from there, I managed to discover that this project was called Sonic Game Preview. And the rest is history. This phenomenon of links no longer working goes by many names, including link breaking, link death, reference rot, and most commonly link rot. It's a growing issue and one that is sure to grow as time progresses. The statistics that surround this don't paint a very good picture either, I'm afraid. A study published by Fatih Oguz and Wallace Kohler entitled URL Decay at Year 20, a research note published in 2016 in the Journal of the Association of Information Science and Technology, found that out of a sample size of 360 individual links from 1995, only 2 remained active, while the rest were dead, causing whatever they linked to be lost to future generations of net surfers. More recently, Pew Research discovered that in 2023, of all pages from 2013, 38% of them are gone. So now that we know what link rot is, what exactly causes it? There are quite a few different causes behind link rot, and as far as I can tell, most of them tend to be rather simple and straightforward. They include: the first and most common is that the web page that it was linked to is being removed. The second is that there are several issues that could afflict the server that hosts the target web page, including it could fail, it can no longer be in service, or it could be relocated to a new domain name. Another reason is that the registration of the domain could expire. The domain could be transferred to a new owner. Also, the website that it linked to could have undergone restructuring that results in changes to URLs. For example, domain.net/pine_tree might be moved to domain.net/tree/pine. Another reason is that content that was once free in the past could be placed behind a paywall. The architecture of the server could have been modified, and that results in code such as PHP functioning differently. Yet another reason is that the linked page could be a dynamic one that's always changing. Think search result pages or the home page of a news website. And lastly, it could be that there is intentional blocking by content filters or firewalls. Now, depending on the exact cause of the problem, clicking such a link will result in one of two possibilities. Either you're going to get a 404 web page not found error, or as in my case, when I clicked the link when on the forum to go to the site that hosted the file for Sonic Game Preview, get redirected to another page on the same site. In often cases, this page you're being redirected to is the home page. What problems can link rot cause? There are numerous problems caused by link rot, and they affect everyone who relies on the web, from your casual surfer to your hardcore researcher to website owners, your favorite YouTubers. Hell, even the Supreme Court of the United States of America is affected by this. Now we're going to discuss some of these issues caused by link rot. However, what we're going to be discussing here is not exhaustive. There are many more issues caused by link rot, and we're just only be discussing a couple of the bigger ones that affect most people. The biggest issue, of course, is the loss of data. Remember that statistic I mentioned earlier about how only 2 links out of 360 tested from 1995 still worked? Well, what about all of the data from those 358 sites? It's lost, and most of it, if not all, is probably unrecoverable. Just think of all the photos, the articles, the posts, and more from one of the earliest epochs of internet history is gone. Even as far back as 1999, the severity of this data loss was well understood. Matthew McGranahan noted, a single disk failure could be like the burning of the library at Alexandria. Link rot also poses several issues to the legal system. In 2013, a study carried out by Harvard Law professor Jonathan Zittrian and his student Kendra Albert found that 49% of links in the United States Supreme Court opinions are dead. Adam Liptak, writing about the study for the New York Times, puts it, the modern Supreme Court opinion is increasingly built on sand. And that's scary to think about, fam. Our legal system is based on evidence and precedents, and both of these are often found online and are linked to. But what happens when these links no longer work? And the last issue I'm going to touch on here is one that particularly hits close home for me. That same Pew study I cited earlier also in 2023 found that 54% of English Wikipedia articles had a dead link in the references section, and 23% of news articles linked to a dead URL. Finally, I want to discuss what we can do to fight against link rot. Strategies for preventing link rot tend to be concerned with replacing content where its likelihood of persisting is higher, offering links that are less likely to be broken, taking steps to preserve existing links, or repairing links whose targets have been relocated or removed. Now, it's been suggested that the creation of URLs that will not change with time is the fundamental method of preventing link rot. So here, preventive planning is key and has been championed by people like Tim Berners-Lee and other web pioneers. Strategies pertaining to the authorship of links include linking to primary rather than secondary sources, and prioritizing stable sites. Avoiding links that point to resources on researchers' personal pages. Using clean URLs, or otherwise employing URL normalization or URL canonicalization. Using permalinks and persistent identifiers such as ARKs, DOIs, handle system references, PURLs, or content addressing. Avoid linking to documents other than web pages. Avoiding deep linking. Deep linking is when you link to a specific part of a web page instead of the web page as a whole. Linking to web archives such as the Internet Archive, WebCite, archive.today, Perma.cc, Amber, or Arweave. In regards to that last point, I want to elaborate on it a bit because I've seen it, and well, really all of these points shared around, but I haven't really seen it elaborated on much. These web archives are invaluable resources for helping us save sites and precious data for the future. But they're not perfect. As you saw when I was searching for the earliest Sonic fan game, my first reaction upon finding out the link was broken was to go to the Wayback Machine. And only to find out that the Wayback Machine had backed it up, but it was not saved properly. That is an issue you will find happens. So just don't drop a link in and go about your day, but check and make sure it's saved properly. If not, make sure the URL was correct. If it was not due to an issue on your side, perhaps try again later, or try saving it with one of the alternatives. And lastly, don't be afraid to use more than one archive site. And I just want to end this section on a bit of positivity. So that last technique we talked about, using an archive site to back things up, Wikipedia has employed this. So whenever you go to an article and there's a link that's used as a source, more times than not, that link will be there, but alongside it will be an archived version at the Wayback Machine. And there have been many times in which I have found that the original link is dead, only to click the archive link that's there with it to much success. And I just wanted to share this because all hope isn't lost, but we in fact can make a difference with our actions. My final thoughts. The internet is an ephemeral place, a place of coming and going. A site here today may very well not be around tomorrow. And links, as we have seen in this video, too, are not immune, but also are detrimentally impacted by the internet's fleeting nature. Since the 90s, we've lost so much data that was posted to the internet. And as sad as that sounds, there is nothing we can do to save what's already been lost. But by acting now in the present, we can preserve the past for the future. And we can do this in part by each of us doing our part to fight link rot. And with that, we'll call the video proper here, fam. Welcome back to another Big Mike Inslate, fam. The part of the video that's not really part of the video, where I'm all natural, uncut, off the cuff, Duck Daddy, baby. This was an interesting video for me to make. It's a story I'm very passionate about, but also the recording process has been a very interesting one. I normally record with my daughters at school, but today she's had the day off, and today is my normal recording day, so it's been a bit hectic. So if you heard any noise in the background, my videos aren't normally like that, but regardless, I'm glad you watched it, fam. Now, I don't really have too much I want to talk about here today, except that I do have some more short form content in the pipeline, and I plan on doing a couple YouTube shorts to kind of test the waters to see how things are going to go. And these are going to be very different from my normal content, at least a little bit. In some regards, I want to do at least a series looking at some of my real life stuff, like places I go to eat, what's it like going grocery shopping in a foreign country, going to a restaurant in a foreign country, ordering food, trying to navigate, talking to people. And I think it's going to be interesting to see. It's a very big part of my life and one I very much enjoy. And it's a part I haven't really shared too much with you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. At least here on YouTube, I do share a bit about it on my Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, please follow me at Michael the Great. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's something that's going to be released in the coming weeks. Oh, and one more thing I need to bring up. So On a very much related note, over the next couple weeks, I plan to do some housekeeping for my YouTube page. I want to add some more playlists and stuff to make my stuff easier to find. So when people come to my channel, they say, hey, he does this, this, and this. Because, my content's all over the place, so it can be maybe a bit hard for somebody at first glance to see what I'm all about. So I feel like maybe having some playlists there maybe might help people to find me a bit better. But with that, I'm always open for suggestions. If you have a video topic you'd like me to cover or a news story you'd like me to cover, please let me know. I include my email address down at the bottom. You can always DM me on Twitter as well, or you can @ me on Twitter. DM me is probably better because sometimes I don't get notifications. Sometimes I really hate Twitter, man. And with that, I just want to remind you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls that I do have a Ko-fi account. And for the time being, anything I received there, any donation I received there, will go towards helping me either build my dream computer or buy a much better computer. And having a better computer will allow me to improve my content, to try new and other forms of content, like playing more high-end indie games, doing stuff with a virtual machine. There are so many Linux distributions I would love to try and review for you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. And having a better machine would allow me to do that. It also may even allow me to improve my editing more. So any donation you can give will greatly help me, will greatly help the channel, and would be greatly appreciated. But if you can't, or you're unable, or I should say, if you can't or you don't want to, that's okay, fam. I appreciate the very fact that you're here, fam. That means the world to me. Special thanks to Fran, who does a wonderful job of doing my art. She is Fran, and she's definitely Fran, that's for sure. And she's going to be back on Twitter at some point in time. So when she does come back, be sure to give her a follow and be sure to commission her for all of your art needs. You would not be disappointed, fam. I promise you. A special thanks to all of my friends on Twitter. I wouldn't be here without you all. And a special thanks to all of you for watching this video. Please like this video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it, but if you want to be really cool about disliking my video, and you're watching this video so I already know you're really cool, please let me know why you dislike this video so that I can improve myself, I can improve my videos, and I can be a better Big Mike all around. But also, even if you like my content or this video, or maybe you feel indifferent about it, or maybe you're here and you don't know why the hell you're here or how the hell you got here, still, leave me a comment below. I love hearing from you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. It really makes my day. And if you like my content, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. Until next time, fam, remember, just be yourself and you'll be awesome. Peace out!